Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Here comes drama. Good morning, numbers. Good morning, Quizzical Girl. Good morning, Montana Lil. Good morning, other people's drama. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Team Wicked Smart. I have missed you guys. Where have I been? All over the world, and it has been hot as your ass in Michigan. Is anybody else living in Satan's ass crack right now? Or is it just us? I don't know. But it's hot. Hot. And I'm not complaining. Because I am a person who'd much rather be hot than cold. Cold is painful. But it is hot. It is hot. Okay? Hot. Hotter than pure white Colombian cocaína at the Mexican border. Okay? Hot. Don't talk to me hot. But anyway, I missed you guys. Good morning. Good morning. I did see Montana Lil say you wished I was on some panels. I know this weekend I had my daughter went on her first solo trip to Atlanta for a competition. So I was getting her ready for that. And then I had a funeral to go to. My god sister's husband unexpectedly passed. So we were doing that. So I was busy this weekend. And I think this was more of a big creator space. They had all the attorneys, everybody's together. It was amazing. I was watching. I seen Alessi and Unetti all over the place. That's amazing. Love to hear from them. So I've been around. Listen, I know I'm just the itty bitty creator in this space, which is why I moved my from last night to this morning, because I saw Laura had Alessi and Unetti, and I was like, I know if y'all got to choose between me and that, I'm gonna go with that. Because I would. I was there. So, but listen, we're small but mighty. Did I reach out? Did I reach out to Alan Jackson? Yes, I did. Will he probably never see the email? Probably not. But closed mouths don't get fed. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So it is what it is. Anyway, oh, thank you, Team Wicked Smart. Thank you. Anywho, everybody's talking. Everybody's got something to say. I mean, it's almost like they couldn't wait. It's almost like they couldn't wait. Listen, I watched Alessi and Unetti with Runkle. I watched them with Lawyer and I want to know what Alessi was talking about. Specifically when he said we have concrete or factual, I can't remember the words he used, evidence that John O'Keefe was somewhere else. Why we being coy? Why we being coy? If you're gonna mention it all. Mention it all. What we doing? Why are we still hiding the ball? It's over now. Double jeopardy is in play. Let me know something. Mention it all. I wonder if he didn't because the federal investigation is not closed, as Hank Brennan so lovingly wants to say every time he opens his mouth. Did y'all see his press release? Hank Brennan. I'm finding it. Go away. That's all I could muster up that would allow me to still be monetized on YouTube. Hank Brennan, go away. Just could not take the L. Take your licking and keep on ticking. Over there, shut up. Shut up. Although I do want to know what Alexi was talking about. Tell me everything. Tell me everything. Let's talk about another group of folks with all the audacity in the world. The McCabe's and the Alberts have a level of audacity and delusion that I would pay for. I would pay for it. Let me tell you something. What is the name for the psychosis? What is the name diagnosis for the psychosis that makes you lie? And you know that I know that you were lying. What's the name for that? It has to be named. Put a name to it. Somebody get a psychiatrist on the line. I know there's a name for it. I know there's a name for it. Is it narcissism? I feel like it goes further. For that man to say, first of all, Jen, I thought you came in the room real quiet like. I didn't want to startle them. And that's what she said the second time. I came in the room real quiet like. I didn't want to startle them. I didn't want them to think anything was wrong. Remember when Alan Jackson was like, something was wrong? And that's what she said. Isn't that what she said? Let Brian Albert and Julie Albert tell it. She came in there busting in there like a banshee. And they immediately thought something was wrong with her kids or my kids. Y'all can't even keep y'all story straight on details that don't even matter. That don't even matter, really, in the grand scheme of things. You could have just said she came in the room. But see, the thing is, when liars try to lie really well, they try to add detail so that you focus on the detail and forget about the thing they're lying about. It doesn't matter. You could have said she just came in the room. But see how y'all can't keep it straight? See how y'all can't keep it straight? See, because I'm going to tell you what happened. She actually did bust in that goddamn room. Okay? But what happened is they weren't asleep, number one, if you ask me. They weren't asleep, but she had to change it second time around because she thought that what they were going to call Brian Albert, and she thought they were going to make him explain why he didn't come outside. And so Jen McCabe had to mellow it down and say, well, I didn't go in there, crazy. I just, very demure, like, said, hey guys, hey guys, are you awake? Excuse me, someone's dead on the lawn. Girl, and then he says, oh, and by the time I got up and got downstairs, the police were in my house. Isn't that a lie? Don't we know? Don't we already know that that's a lie? Did they not come in your house till they came back later in the day? We were there. We saw this. We heard this stuff twice. What do you mean? He made it seem like as soon as she came in the door, the police are right behind her. Sir, do you know we know that that's not what happened? You don't know. See, I think the Alberts and the McCabes and some of John's friends who are a little delulu, I think they're speaking to people who don't know about this case. They're not speaking to the people who know. They can't be. They're speaking to people who they think they're trying to get the people on their side who are new, right? Because the people who've been in this, they want you to shut up. But I think they want to get the newbies who are not quite sure of all the facts and, you know, the goings on. That's what they're talking to, because there's no way. And listen. What do you think? Let's see. The expert slayer sociopathic tendencies is what Brian Albert has, and the rest of them are being held hostage. That's true, but I think Jim McCabe right up there with him. I think they are Bonnie and Clyde, and they're not married. Because that big bumbling potato Matt McCabe looks like he just go along to get along, and Julie Albert looks like a battered woman, and that's not even a joke. That's not even a joke. That's very serious. Something's wrong with that woman. She does not look safe. Maybe she just have a nervous face, but she looks like, I don't know what to say. I better say what he told me to say, and I bet not mess it up. And if I get confused, I'm just going to zip my lips. Nicole. I'm sorry. Who am I saying? Julie? It's so many of these people. Nicole. Somebody get around there and check on her. And that's for real. Somebody go down there and do a wellness check. I remember baby Albert Jr. saying like, oh, my mom's always cleaning. She likes to clean. We know somebody like that, don't we? We all know somebody who's just like a nervous cleaner because they don't know what else to do. They don't want to get nobody wet. They don't want to make nobody mad. I don't know. I'm just saying. I've seen a few or two DV victims and survivors. I don't want to put that on that woman if that's not what's going on, but I'm saying she got all the body language of somebody like that. And that's not even a joke. Somebody go see about her. And then y'all are, because that was Chris Albert next to them, right? Y'all are, is Chris Albert retired now? I don't know. Last I heard, he was the best detective they had. So I don't know if he's retired or not. Brian Albert, retired police officer, and you let your wife say that think twice before you become a witness. What kind of law enforcement official would say anything like that? Think twice before you become a witness. So Kevin is actively police, and he let her say that? Oh, okay. So when you can't find no more witnesses for your crimes, you better thank Nicole. You better thank Nicole. Who says that? Who says that? No, you can be a witness. Nobody has problems with witnesses in the case. We have all the problems with people we think. I ain't trying to have no Turtle Boy case on my hands, but y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. Because what gets me on, and I've said it more than enough times, all of these people, even those weirdo people on court TV, all of these people who their main gripe or their main thing to latch on to is there's no way 30 people can be in a conspiracy. There's no way somebody wouldn't say something. That's what that lumpy head asshole Proctor had to say. So we're going to get to him. 30 people couldn't be in a conspiracy. And it's, nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks 30 people are in on the conspiracy. Nobody thinks that. I wish they would get that through their head. And then maybe they could move over to the correct side, which is those injuries aren't from a car accident. I think people stay on that side because they can't wrap their mind around all these people lying. It's not all these people aren't lying. all these people aren't lying. I think half those people never saw John come in the house. I think that's true. I don't think it's 30 people in on the conspiracy, but I think everybody sitting up in that interview is. I think everybody sitting up in that interview is part of it. And Higgins then disappeared into the darkness, which all of them should have. Who knew that I'd be saying Brian Higgins is the smartest among them? Y'all needed to go somewhere and shut up, let it blow over. Y'all keep talking, people gonna keep talking to you. Like, nobody thinks 30 people are in on the conspiracy. I truly believe that Michael Proctor thinks Karen hit him. I don't think you're in on the conspiracy, but I think you tried to up the ante. Think that's true. I think that's true. I think all those cops believe that Karen hit him with the information they've been fed by Jen McKay, by the evidence they saw planted by Michael Proctor. All of them are not in on the conspiracy. They actually think what they see. But here's the thing, and here's why I can never get with the Karen Read is guilty people, because I think they're disingenuous. I think they're disingenuous because even if you want to believe that Karen hit him, even if you want to believe that, even if your brain just can't get you to the other side, you're disingenuous when you say that those marks on John's arm are from a car accident, because you need to be saying she hit him and something else happened. And because y'all won't say that, I can't listen to you. You're disingenuous. You're ridiculous. And I don't care. I don't care. You have to know that those marks on his arm didn't come from a car. You know it. I know it. We all know it. So you don't, but here's the thing. They don't want to say that, because if we say she hit him with her car and something else happened, you're going to have to go down the road of what else happened. How that dog get out there? Who knew about the dog out there? Was it the dog that made him fall, or was it the car? See, you don't want to have to ask too many questions. So you just stick with, oh, she did it, even though it makes no sense. But it's not 30 people. It's only about 4, maybe 5. Because Brian Higgins is somewhere under his house. And he's not saying a mumbling word. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. And if the rest of them fools were smart, they'd be right with him. Because if I was any of them, zip it, lock it, put it in my pocket. I'm not about to keep talking and let people. First of all, you're not good at it. Y'all keep changing y'all story. Y'all don't know what somebody else said when you weren't around, and you don't know what you said when they weren't around. Like, just shut up. Just shut up. The more y'all talk, the more y'all give people the opportunity to be like, wait a minute. That's not what she said. That's not what she said. Now let's turn to I'll be having a whole bunch to say. And then I'll be wondering, like, am I picking on a handicapped person? Am I picking on somebody who's mentally impaired? Because there's no way that Michael Proctor has all of his mental faculties and still did that interview. Is he on a spectrum? Let me know before I start talking about somebody who is not quite there mentally. Because something's wrong. Something's wrong. And it's more than that little lazy eye you got. And I noticed he had a bunch of lumps in his head. He might be a little off. And I need to know stuff like that before somebody calls me and tells me that I've been canceled for talking about slow person. Okay? Might need to let me know, because either he's on the spectrum or he's just goddamn dumb. Sir. Why? This is the audacity of those people in Canton, Massachusetts. It's the audacity of these people to think that they can out talk the world. Did you think you were gonna talk? I'm telling you, they're not talking to us, the proverbial us. They're not talking to us. They're not talking to people who know this case inside and out. They're trying to get the newbies. They're trying to get the newbies, because there's no way you go on that. Yeah, I just told her to, kill herself. That's just like it's like a figure of speech, like, yeah, just kill herself. Oh, excuse me? Okay, show me 5 other times in your phone you've said that. Can you show me? Can you show me? Since it's just floats off the tongue, figure of speech, show me 3 other times you said that. We'll wait. We'll wait. Then, to get up on national television, the world is watching, and the world is watching. The world is watching after this trial. Everybody in their mama's brother, cousin, the baby sister Tracy was going to be watching you. And what did you say? After you've been fired, and you get up there and say, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. Nothing. I might have, would have went inside the house. I might have would have interviewed people a little faster. Or know what he said? I might have would have looked at other cars just to say I did. No, idiot. You would have looked at other cars because it's called investigating. You would have interviewed people sooner because it's called investigating a crime. Idiot. You're an idiot. Just to say I did. No, don't do it just to say you did. Do it because it's part of investigating a crime. Idiot. You're an idiot. And then they try to say, and Alan Jackson had me on the stand for 2 days. He could have asked if I planted any evidence, and he didn't. Sir, you can't even do your job correctly. Don't try to do Alan Jackson's, please. Why would he ask you this? You can say no. What's the point? I know what you're going to say. I don't need it. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Thanks for becoming a member, Kelly. I want that man to crawl into the deepest, darkest hole. And to think he has a wife. To think he has a wife. He has somebody looking at him at the end of every day. With that lumpy head, that beer gut, and that lazy eye. I want him to go away. I want him to go away. But it's the audacity of these people. Audacity won't let them rest. Here comes Drama Gifted a membership. Make sure you say thank you. Audacity won't let them rest. It will not let them sleep. Oh, thank you, Kelly. And then we have I have only saw like bits and pieces of the interview with Alan Jackson, and I need to watch it all because I can listen to Alan Jackson talk for a year. And told you these people are way more professional than I'll ever be. They have way more decorum than I'll ever have, because he still went light on Kim Jong-un up there, because he said he may have to practice in Massachusetts again. I would have let the chopper spray. But again, this is why I don't do that kind of work. I let the chopper spray. No, I did not team Wicked Smart. And somebody called me a murderer after I was acquitted of murder, I would sue the shit out of them. But that's just me. That's just me. I want them to leave that woman alone. I saw them, I can't remember if it was ET or TMZ or somebody recording her taking her trash out. Let that lady breathe. Let that lady breathe. Oh, let's talk about the jurors, because thank you, Kelly, for reminding me. These jurors were quite amazing. Oh, they were everything I needed them to be. They were everything I needed to be. The one who is like, was she like Latina, I think, and she's a lawyer from another country. Is her name Paula? Paula said, I don't know what y'all. I love that she said, Dever, yeah, she probably need not be holding a gun. I loved it. Brazilian. I loved everything about it, because I feel the same way. I feel the same way. And I remember a couple attorneys were not too sure, or not, they weren't fond of the defense's putting her on the stand. They thought that she didn't do anything. They thought that it was pointless. I saw like 2 or 3 attorneys saying that. And I was like, no. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, no ham, no turkey. You put everybody like her on the stand, especially when your defense is the police are corrupt. Especially when you say these police are all working together to cover up what really happened. Of course you put her on the stand, and she did exactly what she was supposed to do, because Paula said, I don't like that. She ain't say it like that because she has more decorum than me. She has more decorum and professionalism than me, but she said something like that. I mean, we all know what she meant. And then the first juror that came out on TMZ, I appreciate jurors like that too, because he wouldn't necessarily say what he thought happened. He wouldn't necessarily say if he thought there was a cold conspiracy. He wouldn't necessarily say any of that. But what he would say was, they didn't prove anything to me. And I'm okay with jurors like that too. I feel like that first jury wanted the defense to prove to them beyond a reasonable doubt that there was a conspiracy, and they forgot that it wasn't their job. They forgot it wasn't their job. And that was very annoying about that first jury. I feel like this jury was much more practical, much smarter, much like they really understood their job. They really understood their job, because you could tell they understood their job when they started asking questions about the jury form, because the first jury didn't even do that. First jury didn't even do that. I want to talk to them now. I want to ask them, do y'all feel dumb? Do y'all feel dumb? Because second jury got it done. Second jury got it done. But I appreciate jurors like Paula, who feel like no, some shit in this milk ain't clean. And I also appreciate jurors like the first juror, number 4, I think, who was like, I don't know. I know they didn't prove to me what they said they was trying to prove to me. Appreciate that. Appreciate people who understand reasonable doubts. New foreman interview. Oh, I'm watching that. Where's that at? Somebody send it to me. First jurors were dumb. You know what, Quizzical girl? I was trying for so long not to call them dumb. I was trying. But dumb might be harsh. Maybe confused. Maybe gullible. They were the type of people that the first jury seemed like people who add facts. You know what I mean? Like how they added that they were from an insurance company. Like, who told you that? Nobody told you that. Why would you just make that? Why would you just make that up? Why would you just make that up? Did anybody on the second jury say that they knew or they figured out or picked up that the FBI, that they were talking about the FBI? I can't remember if I heard that or not. Because I can't tell whether or not I would have picked that up because I know, you know. So I don't know. I can't tell if I would have. Oh, say they did. Okay. I feel like I would have once you kept on saying agency, police agency, law enforcement agency that's not Canton and not in Massachusetts, and then they kept calling them agents. I feel like I'd have figured it out, but I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking I would have because I know, but maybe I wouldn't if everybody's just being. Maybe I don't know that I even would have cared. That may be true. Montana Little, they were just exhausted from the 65 member witness list. And foreman interview on Today website. Okay, I'm going to watch that because I want to see the foreman. I want to hear him. And I want the Commonwealth to go get their money back. Basically, all these jurors told you all of that jumping and hooting and howling that Hank Brennan was doing didn't do nothing. Didn't move the needle forward nan way. All that jumping up and down and being rude and calling people out, it did nothing. You paid that man $250,000. Over $250,000. And you paid Aperture. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on their Lexus in Texas. And everybody on that jury so far, that are the ones that I've seen, all of them have said that Aperture test was stupid. You know, do you know what's funny about that to me? Do you know what? 1 second. Do you know what's funny about that to me? The fact that we now know that all the jurors were feeling how we were feeling about them, like, this shit is dumb. All he's doing is putting blue paint on. Now that we know that they felt that way, if you go back and watch that testimony, it's even funnier. It's so funny because he feels like he is crushed. He feel like he is like, boom, and there you go. See, you can absolutely get these. And to know that they all sitting there like, what the fuck is this? That is so funny to me. Oh my God, that is hysterical to me. The fact that we all know that they were all sitting there. They must have been sitting there stoic. They must have been sitting there flat faced because you would have knew exactly what I thought. You would have knew exactly what I thought. Listen, he would have changed courses immediately if I was on that stand. They must have been sitting there with no affect at all, and more power to them. more power to them, because I might can sit there when I don't think you're funny. I probably can sit there with no facial expression for a lot of things, but once I think you're dumb, it takes over. It takes over. It does something all on its own. And you would have been able to know that I think everything that you're saying is dumb. They paid them people $300,000. $300,000. And everybody on that jury was looking at him like, this motherfucker just put paint on his arm and roll up against a car. Thank you, Kelly. And roll up against a car. Oh, I love every minute of it. I loved every minute of it. The fact that all of them were like, yeah, that didn't really. You know, when Brennan got those PowerPoints, he was like, yes, this is about to put him in the dirt right here. This is about to bury him. And every single one I've heard has been like, yeah, that was stupid. Do you think anybody hires Aperture now? I mean, I know the people are going to hire them, but do you think that once the other side sees that somebody's hired Aperture, they're going to be like, all right, let's go check their CVs. Listen, teamwork is smart. Teamwork is smart. Nostrils flaring, eyes bucked, my head would have been rolling. I'd have given them all the stereotypes of an angry Black woman, because I cannot stand when somebody talks to me like I'm stupid. And that's what I would have been feeling like. I would have felt like you think I'm stupid. Get out of here. And then not only do you think I'm stupid, you uncross with Audacity like you just really putting them down, like you just really just showed him, and you can't like when you think back to all of that. When you think back to all of that, and you know now that the jury thought it was ridiculous, oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. And what's funnier is they actually didn't have a problem with Burgess. They actually didn't have a problem with Burgess. I think even Paula was like, I mean, he didn't have a degree, but he seemed like he had experience. Meanwhile, this one up here, who thinks he's buttoned up, put together, we think you're an idiot. When you think about all of the flow of that conversation and how he was giving Alessi the flux on Cross, and now we know that at that point he had to be getting on their nerves. At that point, if I already think your experiment is stupid, and I think you think I'm stupid by showing me that experiment, and now you on Cross acting like you just the shit, he had to be getting on their nerves at that point. He had to be getting on their nerves, which now I'm thinking may all been a strategy too. Unless he probably let him act like he was in control so that he could get on the jury's nerves. I don't know. But knowing they couldn't stand them, hilarious. Hilarious. Do you guys think Karen gives another interview, or is she done? Is she done? She's like, I'm not ever talking again, because those is what got me the drunk driving charge. Thanks for becoming a member, Amy's Positive Pathways. Do you think? Thank you, hello, awesome. Do you think she's like, I'm over it? I'm not speaking again. She should go on Turtle Boy. That would be amazing. She does still have a civil case. Oh, now that's interesting. Hello, awesome. She's under contract with the production company. Are they gonna make a movie? do they make a movie? Because these set of circumstances are stuff that people write in a movie. It's better than a movie. Another documentary. I don't need another documentary. How hot is it? Doris, you must be behind. It's hot as your ass. I think she's over talking. I feel like she's like, I don't ever want to hear about this case again. I would be. I wouldn't blame her, for sure. I wouldn't blame her. But I want her, if she's going to talk, Karen, are you listening? Listen up. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. I know you've been through a lot. Okay? It's been a struggle. But you got here. You're on the other side. Okay? Not guilty. So next time you do talk, sweetie, I'm going to need you to empty the clip. Okay? I'm going to need you to stop holding back. I know you want to be polite. I know that's who you are. I know that's who you are. But they outside calling you a big M, girlfriend. They calling you a big M, girlfriend. We need you to let the chopper sing. Okay? Let the chopper sing. If you want me to do it for you, you can just stand in the background. And I can say, on behalf of Miss Karen Reed, come on, let me know. Hit me up. I got you. Because they still talking. And we're going to start. The first person we're going to start with is that goddamn girlfriend. What is her name? Tara? Girl, if I see you pop up in one more goddamn interview, documentary, anything, I want somebody to kick the legs off your chair. Why are you here? She's everywhere. When's the last time she was with John? Was it like 20 years ago? If I was Karen, I'd get a personal protection order against that hoe. Because go away. Go away. Why are you here? Oh my God. She's everywhere for no reason. Girl, you ain't got a story since 1997. We don't care. We do not care. I'm telling you, Karen, hit me up. Because we can go every single one of them. Let me know, girl. No interviews yet by the O'Keefes. They shouldn't do an interview. They shouldn't do an interview because, 1 second. I don't think they should because, again, on my channel, we call the balls, we call the strikes, right? I do think if it's true that people were, hold on. Had to turn the camera off because Little Miss was in her underwear. We got to call the balls of the strikes. If it is true that when they were walking into the courtroom, people are heckling them or calling them weird names, I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy. Because while they are delulu in the fact that they believe Karen hit him with a car, even though there's no evidence of that, they are still grieving a loved one. I mean, we can have all the smoke for the McCabe's and the McAlberts. I mean the Alberts. We can do that all day. But I do think it's unfair. That part. I do think that part was unfair. So they probably won't because they don't want to hear it anymore. But then I think I heard something about the niece on TikTok. Is that true? I have too. Discworld, Edgewitch, but I think on the documentary they were saying that people were like yelling at them walking in and calling them names, and I'm like, now I wasn't there, so I'm gonna just believe you. But I don't think anybody's that crazy. Although they did pick the craziest people. Gotta call the balls, gotta call the strikes. You know that when they do an interview, they're gonna pick the craziest people. Like, why are you out there with your pink on? I understand pink with mini solo cup earrings. Like, what does that do to Free Karen Reed? Like, there was some stuff that I was like, okay, that's a little bit too far. Like, that's a little bit too far. But you know, what can we do? Crazy's gonna be everywhere. At the end of the day, we're basically trying to say shit. Like, there's no reason you have solo cup earrings on. Come on. They picked the craziest for their documentary. So I don't know if they're O'Keefe's, but if Karen can't do one because they're in the middle of a civil suit, then neither can they. So that may be why they haven't done one. That may be why they haven't said anything. But what about the niece? Did I just make that up? Did I hear that she said something or did something on TikTok? Baby girl. Fall back, okay? I know that was your uncle. I know that you're very hurt. But first of all, these grown-ups shouldn't have put you in the middle of grown people relationships anyway. But now I think because they did, you want to jump into grown folks' business, and I'm gonna need you to pipe down. I need you to simmer down, stay in a child's place. Is she a child? Is she an adult yet? I don't know. You're a child then, so you have no idea of the complexities of what was going on in that relationship, which is why they should never have called you to the stand. But since they did, you think that you can comment on adult situations, and I think yes, she is, because they wouldn't put her on camera, so she must be still a minor. Baby girl. Shh. It's not lit. Just say, I miss my uncle, and let that be it. Baby girl. You don't want to end up on the wrong side of history, because what happens when later you figure when you actually become an adult and can look at this through the lens of an adult and you say, something don't add up. You should just zip it like it, put it in your pocket, Miss Ma'am. We don't need it. You don't need it. Tara is swim fan. I don't know who Tara. I want Tara to go away. That's what I heard. Team Wicked Smart. I didn't see it, but I heard it, and I'm just saying. I don't know if she did or not, but I'm saying if she hasn't, continue to not. And if you have, girl, their evidence cup earrings, whatever they are, they were in bad taste, bad form, unnecessary. And there's that. She did a tweet about karma. Baby girl. You're not even old enough to understand. Like I said, because they put her on the stand unnecessarily, she thinks that she is supposed to be commenting on adult issues and be in adult problems, and she shouldn't. And she should not have been called to the stand the first or the second time. I never understood that the first time, and I definitely didn't understand the second time. If Hank Brennan wanted to squeeze this case down, there was no reason for that niece to testify. There just wasn't. It was unnecessary. She did not understand the inner workings of an adult relationship just because she heard them arguing. She didn't need to be there. Of course she does. She's going to turn out to be a little Jen McKay. Didn't she end up going to Canton High School when John wanted her to go to some sort of private school or something? John didn't even want her in them Canton people's face. Like, John didn't even want you in those people's face. And here you are, turned into a little Jen McCabe. Don't let that lady corrupt you. Exactly. And now you right back up under the same people who were trying to get you away from. Anywho, I want to go watch the Foreman interview. Jen is a serial killer who joins the search party and starts a vigil. No, Team Wicked Smart. Jen is the mob boss. Brian is the mob boss. Jen is the consigliere. They put out the hit. And then sit back and go, what happened? Okay, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm going to leave that alone. But I think there's a reason Jen calls Brian every time she gets into a little bit of a hiccup. Do with that information what you will. And both Nicole and Matt sitting over there looking like two big bumps on a log. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I'm just saying, very strange to me. I'm not saying you can't be close to your brother-in-law. I'm not saying that. They did grow up all in the same town. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. Little suspicious to me. Anywho, I'm going to get up here. Y'all know I got to go to work. And I want to watch this interview with this foreman. I have to finish watching Alessi and Yannetti with the lawyer you know. Did somebody say they're on with Melanie Little tonight? So we'll see that as well. They're making the rounds. I told y'all I got my feelers out there. I did put in a request to Alan Jackson. I know I'm still just the itty bitty creator compared to all those wonderful people. But you know, you never know. He might want to talk to somebody very small and loving, because y'all know I love me some Alan Jackson now. So we'll see. I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. We're gonna get out of here and burn. It's gonna be 95 degrees here today. So everybody stay cool. Everybody put some ice pack in the freezer, because you're gonna need it. Yes, Jen. I think you said you emailed me. I'll look for it. About the Young Jerks. I will look for that. Oh yeah, that might be good too. Yeah, I'll reach out to Liza Little, because she's really the brains behind this outfit. I'm gonna do that. I'm going to do that because she's really the brains behind this thing. She knows where the bones are buried. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. You guys have a good day. I wish you all the peace and happiness and air. Hope your air conditioning is working because it is a scorcher. Yes, you were, Discworld. Everybody have a good day. Bye.